All right, everybody. Well, today I'm here with Peggy. And Peggy, do you want to introduce yourself to us and tell us a little
Sure,
bit about your school? And
absolutely. My name is Peggy McDermott, and I am the preschool director at Nazarene Preschool in Lamont. And even though we have a Lamont address, we're kind of the borderline of Lamont and Homer Glen because we're right on Bell Road. So that always helps people because some people feel that we're like right in the downtown Lamont, and we're not. So we're like in the nice in between area. I've been the preschool director here for 4.5 years. Our preschool has been in existence for 40 some years.
oh,
So
wow.
we've been around a long time. And the
Yeah.
nice thing is that many of our teachers, this parents that are bringing their kids through, have had some of the teachers here as their teachers. So
Oh,
it's always
that's
nice when they're
fun.
like, oh, Mrs. Baldwin's still here, this one. So that's really a nice family community about our preschool. We really feel like everyone is part of our Nazarene family when they join.
That's great. That's really fun. I bet it's fun for the parents too.
It is. They love it.
So, what's something that your preschool does differently from other preschools?
Well, the first thing is that we have a Young Threes program, which the Young Threes program starts, it's for the children who really miss the threes and they're 2.5. So they missed our traditional threes, but they turn three between September and December.
Okay.
So that is a program that's really great. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's only an hour and a half. So it's a perfect time to get those students who might be ready to just be away from mom and dad to work on that separation. And they work on letters and numbers at a slower pace than our traditional threes program. But it's more about socializing, having fun, learning, just to have that away time, which it usually takes them till about now to be okay. You know, there's some that adapt very easily, and there's some that it takes a little bit of time, but they always have a great time. And it's a nice foundation if they start in the young threes and then move to the threes and the fours. They've done the really good foundational part to be extremely ready for kindergarten.
Yeah, yeah, help with that social emotional aspect of the
Yes.
transition to
And the
with
other
everything.
thing that might separate us apart is that we do offer music and Bible with two different teachers. So they get 15 minutes of music and they get 15 minutes of Bible. And you do not have to be of certain faith or anything. It's just more about being good, learning about Noah's Ark, and just the fundamentals of just
Mhm,
being a good person, really.
mhm,
And
mhm.
everyone loves Mrs. Mary Ann. If there's could be anyone else, I don't know who could ever teach Bible is Mrs. Mary Ann. She's a kind way. But and we do a lot of programs. We do have in-house field trips. This year it's been a little different, but we still were able to have the pumpkin patch, which was great. So
Fun.
farmer down the street, the church provides the pumpkins. We purchase them for the families, and then I create a pumpkin patch in our field. And then each classroom comes up, they get to take a pumpkin. It's usually the size of like for a pumpkin pie.
Mhm.
And then we take class pictures, and then so they get to take that home. It's just a nice thing that the kids love. And the parents are always asking, like, are we still having the pumpkin patch? So it's
Yeah.
really nice. It makes them feel like they're at a real school, but they're doing something fun.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that sounds really cute.
Yes.
Um, so, I've heard you say that you have a couple different ages and
Mhm.
in your preschools. So how long is their school day and what does a typical school day look like
So
for a child
for
enrolled?
Yes, so our young threes is an hour and a half, which would be 10 to 11:30, and then our threes program and our fours program is from 9 to 11:30. And for our threes, we offer 2 days, 3 days, and 4 days. Our 2 days are either Tuesday and Thursday or Wednesday and Friday, a traditional Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday through Friday. Our fours program, we kind of did away with the 2 day because we felt that it wasn't giving them enough time to be prepared for kindergarten.
Mm,
So, and a lot of parents wanted more days, so we listened to that. So we offered 3 days, 4 days, and our 5 day. Our 5 day is our biggest program
yeah.
because even if they're here 2.5 days, it's giving them that consistency of
Mhm.
coming to school every day, getting them ready, whether they're going to be in full day kindergarten or half day, because some schools still offer that. So it's a really nice balance. Um, a traditional day in our school is that they come in, they do the pledge, they might have a morning worksheet to do. We do a lot of center time.
Mhm.
so the kids can learn to not only work independently, but they learn to work with each other. And a lot of the teachers, especially in the fours, they start having them maybe just do a puzzle together, and they have to talk amongst themselves. So they're learning to share, they're learning to just discuss instead of a parent or a teacher always jumping in and giving them the answer or helping them out. They're learning to solve problems on their own, which we really work on. We also do phonemic awareness here, and that is the program where the teachers read stuff. And phonemic is different than phonics. Phonics is when you're writing out your letters and then being able to identify them. Phonemic is hearing them. So they're doing a lot of rhyming, they're doing a lot of nursery rhymes. They're learning how what beginning sounds are. So those children, especially who are auditorial, it really helps them. And then when they're writing their name, they can remember to hear, oh, that ah sound or something like that, than just thinking, oh, what letter do we write? So it kind of encompasses everything together. So the kids do a nice combination, all the children do in our threes, fours, of doing schoolwork, but yet having time to have fun, whether it's imaginary fun in the classroom, doing science experiments. Mrs. Debbie's 5-year-old 5-dayers yesterday were making snow. So she added water to a cool powder, and then they had then it was really cold and they made snow. So the kids were learning how to do that.
Yeah.
And then they have 15 minutes of Bible. They have 15 minutes of music on any day that they're here. They also get 15 minutes of indoor recess to get those large motor growth skills.
Mhm.
And then they have snack time. And if anyone has allergies, we're really good about that. It's no peanuts or anything like that. And then they just have more fun playing and a little bit of learning, and then they go home. And it's amazing everything they get accomplished in those 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say our fours program is aligned to the curriculum of our grade schools around us. So when our students leave here, they're ready for Lamont, Homer Glen, Orland, anywhere. I've really researched of what is needed for kindergarten, so they are very prepared.
Yeah.
So I would say that our fours can write their first name and last name when they leave. They can count to 25. They know their phone number and address. And but yet they're doing all tons of fun things as they're learning that. So
Mhm.
they're still making fun projects, and they really like being here. I know I
Yeah.
had one little boy the other day cry because he had to go home. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah, yeah, you're doing something right when they don't wanna leave, right?
Exactly. And our teachers are amazing. They treat every student as if they were their own child. So it becomes a family. Like, they're very concerned about them. We always check in with the parents and different things like that. So yes, our
Mhm.
teachers are amazing.
That's great. That's great. Um, so I know the big question on everybody's mind is how are you handling COVID-19? I know that's like the big thing, it's just like
Yes.
there's so many regulations and everything like that. And so yeah, what's your approach to that? How does your school
We've been doing really well. When our parents are no longer allowed to come back to the rooms, but when they come into the lobby, everyone has to have a mask on. And they either fill out a form hard copy, because sometimes we have grandparents and they can't do their cell phones and some cell phones aren't working, or we have a Q4 code that the parent just opens up their camera, they answer some questions. Has your child been sick? Have they been around anyone COVID? If they fill it out with the form on their phone and something goes like, yes, they have a fever or something, my phone will buzz and then I will find that parent. So it
Oh,
notifies me right away.
okay.
Everyone gets their temperature checked, and then the teachers are behind kind of like a rope that we have, and then they sit with their class until everyone comes. We
Mm,
also this year kind of scattered the time frame, so certain classes come between 8:45, so they're the traditional 9 to 11:30, and
mhm.
then we have other classrooms they don't have to arrive to 9, so they go to 11:45, just so they're getting that amount of time that the
Yeah.
parents are paying for, and they're getting the time that they need to be in school. But
Mhm.
it has helped with not having so many people in the lobby.
Mm,
We also, and anytime the staff always has to have masks on, no matter what. Um, Children only have to have masks on if they're walking in the hallway, if they're going to music class, but in the classroom, we made the decision of it was the parents' choice.
mm,
Some kids have allergies, some were just the kids were struggling with it, and I guess it was more about not about the kids. Most of them do wear it, but there was a few that didn't. And I didn't want the teachers all day saying, put your mask on, put your mask on. And it wouldn't have been a good area for the kids because then they'd be looking at the teachers and not enjoying school.
Right.
I would say in a whole, most of them do wear it.
Mhm.
And when they're leaving, they wear it. We always make sure our rooms are cleaned down in between when the kids are in there. The teachers are wiping things down. Plus, every night we have someone come in with an electric spray, our cleaning company,
Oh,
and they
wow.
spray everything down. And over the holidays, we had everything sprayed down. I want to congratulate our parents for being amazing of when they felt their kids were sick, they kept them home, whether it was the
Mhm.
sniffles, whether it was someone, maybe the dad was exposed to someone, we're not sending the kids. They
Mhm.
wanted us to stay open. So they were absolutely on target with how cautious they were. And I really feel that was the reason we are still open.
Yeah, that's great.
And I did ask parents if they went away for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, if they would also quarantine for 10 days. Now it's 10 days, before it was 14,
Mhm.
to quarantine after. And everyone has listened to that because we have a family that just got back from Arizona and they're quarantining now, and then their son will return. And then we send homework email home in case they wanted any worksheets just to keep them up to date or different things like
Sure.
that. But I really say it's a community effort with our families that we've all worked together to keep us open.
Mhm. That's great. It's great that there's so much invested, not only from the
Mhm.
school, but also from the parents and the families
Yes.
and keeping everybody safe. So that's great. Um, so what's something that we can't learn about your school just from looking at your website? I know a lot of times, especially now, it's just like that's the first place we go for
Right.
information, and it's usually a really comprehensive source of information. But there's still something like the feel of the place, or just I know that it. You've already touched on it a couple of times, the community that you have with the families. But what's something that you think that you'd like to share with us that we couldn't learn from your website?
I think that parents are excited when they see the classrooms and how much work the teachers have put into decorating them.
Mhm.
The classrooms look like a regular classroom if you were in a kindergarten classroom. I mean, they have the calendar up, they have the weather frog or bear. They this year we couldn't hang projects due to COVID. Usually they
Mhm.
would be hanging, but this year they put them on the wall. We always have star student, and the teachers just put a lot of time and effort into everything that they do, whether it's how their classroom looks, the projects they do. We have times we have meetings so that they're making sure that the projects, that the parents are going to like the projects and the students love doing them. I think all those little things mean a lot, especially when you're walking in a room. It's bright, it's cheery. The paint we use, it's warm.
Mhm.
And that's what comes across, and you're not going to get that on a website.
Mhm.
And we also do, as I said previously, we have student of the week. This year it's been a little bit different because before parents could come in,
Mhm.
but we made it in a way that we still have a cute little sheet, and then I put pictures on Facebook and everything like that. And then I introduce, we don't use children's first names or last names, I should say, but we say like, oh, they want to be a fireman when they grow up. And
Mhm.
then they always get a special postcard because every child loves to get mail. So they get a
Yeah.
special postcard, and then they always get postcards for their birthdays too. I always send them a postcard because they
Oh,
do. They love mail.
yeah,
So that's
I
always
still
great.
love getting mail.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. So I think
non-boring grown-up mail anyway.
right. But I do really feel it's the classrooms that when a parent walks in, they just fall in love with how the teachers have decorated and put so much time and energy and just love into the classrooms.
Mhm, mhm. That's great. That's really great. Um, well, you've already touched on it a couple of times, but what kind of parent and family involvement do you have in your school? And I know, like right now, everything looks kind of different too, again because of COVID.
Right. Usually we have a lot. So we'll be getting ready for our Valentine's Day party. And this year, instead of the parents coming in to sign up, they can still do that, but they can do it from out in the hallway. So I just say, I'll be standing out there, sign up. And they're really good about donating and different things like that for different parties. Usually, if it wasn't COVID, they would come in. Grandparents have come in because the kids get to be a star student for 2 weeks. So during that 2 weeks, they can have grandma and grandpa come in, they can have mom and dad come in, read a story. Some have done an art project, some have dressed up and told real fun stories, just different things. And the kids will always remember that.
Mhm,
I also feel we always do community outreach. So this year for Christmas, all the kids, any parent or child was asked if you want to donate a game or a toy. And we donated that to a local organization that gave to people who maybe they're going through a hard time, they're struggling with finances, or they've just hit hard times, and they were being provided food for other from another business, but we provided the games and toys and different things like that so that the kids could get a toy from Santa. And
Yeah.
I had so many parents just say this was the best thing ever because my child learned so much that they had them go and pick out a game. I want to say we had like 4 tubs filled,
Oh my
which was
goodness.
amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
So our parents are really good at giving back.
Mhm.
We just make sure that we're always reaching out to them. We're always thanking them for supporting our preschool because we know without them of telling what a wonderful time they have or their kids having a good time, we wouldn't be here. So we try to really include our parents in whatever we can do.
Mhm. That's great. Sounds like a nice community that you guys have.
We try.
um, so on the flip side, or I guess just on another alternative side of being
Yes.
human, how is it that you handle conflicts when conflicts arise between the children?
On conflicts, first I try and let the teachers handle it in their classroom because I try not to be a micromanager.
Mhm.
So, and we're always for conflicts, we're always look for the positive. So we usually try and have the child like understand, especially at 3, it can be harder, even the young threes, but we try and have them understand like, okay, we can't do this. So we talk it out with them. I'm a big person to always say to the child when they're crying really hard or something, I always say, let's use our words. We'll cry if like we fell down and we really hurt ourselves or if someone said something not nice, but and we can be sad, but we need to use our words so then we know how to help you. So that's the first thing we always do. If it gets to the point where 2 children or a child just doesn't want to listen, um, then they usually come to me and we will talk it out again. And a lot of times we might use like a stoplight, or we always go for positive reinforcement. So instead of focusing on the negative, we'll always do the positive. So whether it's one teacher might put teddy bears in front of them and all the kids start out with the same like green teddy bear, and maybe in the morning they had a bad day, so they might go to yellow and they're cautioning them. But then in the afternoon, like after a few hours, then they'll start it up again and say, okay, let's try and work our way back to green. We always want the child to know they can try and work their way back. I usually, after a few times, then I might call the parent and just have a conversation, or the teacher usually will first. I'll recommend that to the teacher. And then if I need to come in, I will talk to them. But on a whole, our teachers are really good. They'll usually come to me and ask me, what would you suggest for this child? Or how should we handle this? And we'll work together as a team of what's best for that child. Because not every positive behavior plan is good for every child. We work individually and we do that a lot, even educationally and developmentally. At this age, everyone's developing at their own time. So we really need to focus on the child individually also.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, for sure. That flows in really naturally with my next question for you, and I know that
Can
you
I get assistance with the bathroom for a moment?
I know you spoke a little bit about it earlier, but how do you accommodate for kids that have special needs or food allergies? You had mentioned about
Yes.
food
So
allergies.
we have one child who has major food allergies. So this year, what I've done, and in the past, I will run, let me take that back. We have an approved snack list. I'll start the easy way. We have an approved snack list. And what happens is at the beginning of the year, there's certain items that the parents can only pick from for snack time. And we do our snack time as a community so that the parents only have to bring in like maybe 2 big boxes of goldfish crackers. And then that lasts instead of like, oh, you have snack this week and that week, because that can be a lot for some parents. Like, oh, especially if they're working, that's one more thing to add to their calendar. This way they know they've given us the snack and they're fine. If a child, like last year we had someone that was gluten, so she just brought her own little snack and that was completely fine. Mom's like, and mom would try and like say, oh, if you're doing a special day, I'll put this in. If we had popcorn day, she would bring her own popcorn, completely fine. And then for parties, I will send the parents the what we're requesting. And if it works for that classroom, that's great. If it doesn't, then we'll say, you know what, so he doesn't feel bad, we'll just use popsicle instead of ice cream, because we have a few students who are lactose intolerant. So we'll just say, let's scratch ice cream for everybody so no one feels different. Let's just do popsicles. And we do it that way. As for anything else, I'm trying to think. Did I miss something? I can't remember what. I'm sorry.
So food allergies or children that have special.
Oh, for special, that's right. I should know that. Special needs. We work really. I love children with special needs because I still work with a lot of them when I tutor, but I make sure that we're opened. And if my teachers aren't used to working with students who might have a difficult time or a challenge, then we work together, because I believe that they should be in preschool and that they need to be in the regular community like everybody else. So a lot of times our kids come in with speech needs, and our teachers will ask the parents, like, who's the speech teacher? We'll work together. Let me know. This year it's been difficult because we all have masks on. So it's hard for the kids to see what we're saying. So that's been a little bit of a struggle with the letters and everything. But all the teachers have been really great. They'll come to me, what would you suggest, whether it's a pencil grip to how to hold a pencil, putting a weight on there, or maybe working on stuff a little bit slower, or keep reviewing, give a little extra sheets to mom or dad, or I always feel that if you continue the communication with mom and dad, especially if their child is having some challenges with special needs, then that parent is going to feel more loved and more helped out, because maybe they don't know, this could have been their first child with a challenge and they need the assistance too. So we're here to help them also.
That's great. Yeah, that's really great to provide that support. I only have one more question for you, and it's an easy one. How much time do the kids get to spend outside? I know it depends on weather and things like that, but
It's hard at our school because we have a huge parking lot and for safety reasons. But on a whole, the threes will sometimes go outside and the teacher will bring them, like, and they'll maybe read outside. The fours, a little bit more. They might go walking outside. They might listen to a story outside. We usually do a whole butterfly unit in the threes. So when they release the butterflies, and the kids are outside, they love to see the butterflies, especially if they land on a teacher, then that's always a hysterical moment. So yes, so we try and go outside if we can, but and then we'll go up on the hill that we have so they can have a lot of fun. But it's hard because it's so big out there that we try and watch with safety reasons.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk across a big parking lot to get to the field. So I'm always more cautious about, and honestly, our two gyms are so huge the kids don't even miss it. Like, they're fun, they're running around chasing each other. We have a lot of toys that they play with, like they have scooters, and they're just making up their own games and just having a good time.
Yeah. That sounds fun. Well, those are all the questions that I have for you. Would you mind telling us just some contact information where people can find you? And we'll include all of this information too on the site, so people will also have this. But
absolutely. Our phone number is 708-349-0454, extension 331. And my email is pmcdermott@c1nas.org. And then you can find us at the C1NAS website, and then you can click the link for Nazarene Preschool, and it's all there.
great.
And I'm always, if you want to call and have a tour anytime, we do tours anytime. I'm always happy to schedule one. It just doesn't have to be during open house or anything like that. We do tours all year round.
Great. That's good to know, for sure. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. It was great talking with you.
Nice talking to you too.
You have a good day.
You also have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.